Hello, everyone, and here we are again. It's Ask Us Relationship Series 2, Episode 4, and this is the month of love, right? It's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everyone, whether you're celebrating with your partner or with your loved one or with yourself, right?
Yeah, happy Valentine's, everyone. I know many of us celebrate it and some of us don't. So I think it's not just about dating, it's also about recognizing that it is love for yourself and love for others that matters to you. So
Yeah.
welcome and good morning, good evening, good afternoon to wherever you're watching. Yeah, and let's
Yeah.
crack on.
And before we kickstart, again, we want to let you know that we provide guidance on navigating relationship challenges, drawing from our expertise and personal experience as life coaches. Should you find yourself in need of any professional mental health assistance, we strongly encourage seeking therapy or counseling support. If our insights resonate with you and you're interested in individual or group coaching, feel free to contact us via Instagram or join our Facebook community, which is LoveIn Relationships. You will find the link in the description. So let's get started. Right. So our question today is from our client, one of our clients who is in date.
So she asked, I've been single for quite some time, and as I continue to invest in self-improvement, my standards have naturally risen. Finding a compatible partner has become increasingly challenging, and online dating has turned from the enjoyable adventure into a source of stress. Is it worth considering taking a break from dating altogether? So that's a question of the day. Would you like to take the
Yeah, I can do. And in simple terms, right? The answer would be yes, you can, if that's what's talking loud to you. And use that time. So if you do feel that you want to take a break, please do it and use that time for knowing more about yourself. Once you know yourself, once you know what values you live by, it will be much, much easier and you can go into dating with more confidence. That's when you are going with no expectations. But what the expectations will be is you would know what values you want to see in the other person and not just the behavior, right? What's your take on this, Diana?
Oh, it's dating these days have been very complicated, right? Because there's so many options, there's so many filters, there's so many things that to really think about before you go in there. But I really completely resonate with where you're coming from. So it's really commendable that you're investing in self-improvement and elevating the standards along the way, because now you're questioning, right? Sometimes amidst our growth journey, the search for compatible partner can be daunting, right? So it would feel like navigating through uncharted waters. So it's, there's so many fish in the water, but online dating, once a promising avenue, can sometimes feel overwhelming and draining. But here's the thing though, taking a break from dating doesn't equate to giving up
Yeah.
on love or closing the door on potential connections. Instead, it's about redirecting your focus inwards. So, nurturing the relationship you have with yourself and allowing space for personal growth and reflection. So, that's really is a time, like what Natasha is saying, like it's a time for you to come back to yourself. So, by stepping back from the dating scene, if that is something that you would like to do, you can create an opportunity to realign with your values, like what you said, passions and aspirations, So it's a chance to deepen your self-awareness. Understand though that you need your needs and desires more fully and cultivate a sense of contentment and fulfillment within you, right? So remember, your worth isn't determined by your relationship status, right? And there's immense beauty in embracing solitude, and self-discovery. It's harder to be feeling alone in the relationship than being alone, you know, by yourself. So there's a big difference between loneliness and being alone. So there's a solitude in being alone and really cultivating understanding about yourself. So trust that when the time is right and you're in an alignment with your authentic self, the right person will naturally gravitate towards you. So if you're feeling the need to press pause on dating, honor that intuition. Use the time to nourish your soul, pursue your passions, and embrace the journey of self-love and growth. And who knows, when you least expect it, love may find its way to your doorstep. Because when you work on yourself, when you nourish your garden, the butterfly will come to you. That's my take. So keep shining, keep doing whatever you're doing. And it doesn't mean you're giving up on love. It means you're strengthening your values and yourself so that you will attract the same person who values the same thing. Because when you go into a relationship, it's not about 50-50. You're showing up in a relationship with who you are, with what you have, and sharing that with somebody. It's not somebody that will come into your life to fulfill a part of you that is missing, right? So go into in that kind of mindset. What do you think, Natasha?
Correct. I 100% agree with you. What I'm hearing from you is it's not about looking at the lack, but the abundance. So you create that abundance within you by seeing all the beautiful values that who you are and knowing that you are whole. And that's when you attract a person who is abundant and whole.
Mm.
That person's not coming to fill up a void, neither are you going to fill up any void in that person's life. But now two whole people come together and support each other. And then that's when you move forward. It's beautiful what we are saying, but let's come back to reality, right? What if this person's saying, because I've had a person who said, you know what, I understand all this. I understand self-development, focusing on the self, be okay with solitude, but I really want to share my life with someone. I really want somebody, but it's hard. What would you say to that person?
That's a really good question. There's nothing wrong with wanting to share your life and your journey with someone. But try to find what is the intention and motivation behind why that urge to be with somebody. What are you trying to fill a void, like what you said earlier? Are you trying to fill the void? Is that something that you want companionship? Is it something that you want to share your life, to make a love story, right? Or to make a life story?
Correct.
Right. So there's a huge difference between, writing a love story and writing a life story. So it's really important to know what your intention and motivation, because when you go in there thinking like, oh, I want a love story, it just stops at the honeymoon period.
Yeah.
It stops because the reality after the honeymoon period is reality hits, and then you look at the person and it's like, oh my God, this is not the person that I had imagined to be. But if you're going in there with the intention of living a life story, you go in the mindset of, I love this person no matter who, what, where, right? And it's a life I want to build with this person. So it's really important to know your intention behind it, because then your actions, your behavior, your uh, way of communication, your way of showing up will be aligned to what your goals are. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
love
so,
that.
yeah.
I love what you said about love story and life story, right? And life stories are full of challenges,
Yes.
right? It's full of obstacles, and how together we can maneuver, we can overcome those challenges and obstacles. And love story is all the fluffy stuff, the the fantasy, right?
Mhm.
I just love that.
Yeah. Yeah. A life story, it starts from the beginning to the end. Like, what does that mean? I'm not saying like the end until death do us part. It's really around how do I want to live my life, the rest of my life? And if at some point you decide there's a line, there's an end to that line, you lived your life with an intention of sharing your life with that person, right? Because there's a lot of questions happening now. It's like, how do you know that this person is the one for the rest of your life? No one will know that.
No,
Neither will you know that. Like, this is the thing about building a life story rather than um love story, because when you're building a life story, you will have to learn how to fight, right, you will have to learn how to nourish both you and your partner. You will have to learn how to communicate in a way that includes everyone in the picture. It's not just about you anymore. When you're building a love story, it's more like fantasy, Disney of, all the wishes, and then when the reality hits, you don't have the resilience to know how to fight and to know how to defend your relationship. So yeah.
yeah. And also another thing when it comes to relationship, and especially dating, I believe it's important to know what kind of an attachment
Mm,
you have with the other person. Well, when I say the other person, not a particular person, right? But knowing what kind of attacher you are. Now, this can sound a bit like a jargon, right? A very coaching term, but it's knowing that there are some people who can be an avoidant attacher. Some could be um, an anxious attacher. And
yeah.
really, the space you want to be is you want to be in a secure attachment place, right? So again, this is something we don't want to explain for too long on here, because there's a book you can read about it, which is a really nice book that I would recommend, is Attached by Dr. Amir Levin. And it beautifully explains how a person can get attached to the other person. And
Mm,
it really helps in the dating phase.
yeah.
Uh, and yes, knowing who you are, because again, that person might be acting in a way and you might think that, oh, this person's trying to avoid me, or this person's doing this and that, but it's just how we as human beings, we attach to people, right?
Mm.
So
And-
what's your take? And it's really good in, if you want to understand more, if you want to learn more how you deal, or what kind of attacher you are, it's really good. You can do this with life coaching, or with relationship coaching, or even therapy, right? Couples therapy.
yeah, I agree completely, 100%. um the other thing too is, when you are ready to go back into the dating scene, if for any reason that online dating isn't working for you, there are other avenues that you can cultivate relationships. So it could be, you don't go to Home Depot to do groceries, right? So find the right place where you know that you will hang out with the right crowd, with the right people.
Yeah.
So if you're ready to build a life story with somebody, go in a community where those people hang out, right? Where those people are interested in spending time. And if that is not in online dating, don't waste your time there. So go in a place where, or build a space to encourage people to hang out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Instead of us trying to look more online, if it's not working for you, because not everything is real online, right? But when you actually meet a person and you are connecting with the person, that's when you start to see the real person, the person in their own value, in their own beauty. And yeah, do it in person. Keep your options open and have fun. Don't go into it thinking, this is the one, this is what I want, because the fears are holding us back. That's when we go and we already know, oh, not again, okay, I'm going to do this. What if, right? We're going with too many what ifs in our mind. What if I go there and this person's going to turn out like this? Or what if it turns out like my previous one? Oh, it's going to be a waste of time, right? Already we are going with a lot of fears, with a lot of what ifs in our mind. Go thinking that, what if this is going to turn out to be a beautiful conversation?
Yeah.
And be open to these conversations.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I agree completely. Dating is not in dating, like I said earlier, it's like going into uncharted waters. It can be really tricky to navigate sometimes. And this is the time where it's really important to build your self, strengthen your values, strengthen your self-love, and so that you will attract the same people in your life. It's the same thing with friendship, right? You hang out with people that is in alignment with who you are, who you want to be, and the person that you would fight for. So yeah.
Yeah. And have open communication. Don't hold yourself back,
Mm.
right? If something feels like, this doesn't feel right, have an open conversation.
Yeah.
What made you feel that way, right? And clear any doubts. And if it's an ongoing thing and you still feel icky and it's like, okay, I don't feel right, then that's probably not the right place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your wisdom. This has been a real challenge for a lot of young people these days, because we there's a lot of motivation and self-help out there, but it's everything now is more online, and the loneliness is very real and challenging. Even at workplace, you work from home now, so it really takes away the community building, the chance to meet people within the workplace. So it's very challenging, and we do get that. And it, and don't let that stop you from meeting the right people in your life. So it could be
Yeah.
you. It could be the very you to recreate something beautiful, and build a community that is needed in the world. Yeah.
Yes. And along with your self development, work with your coach, right? Work on finding the right person. Work on yourself. You are already working on yourself. So with a little bit of help from your coach, from your life coaching, you can again meet those goals. You can work towards those goals. So
Absolutely.
don't hold yourself back.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for today. And I hope the person who has sent us this question, your question has been answered.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. And we'll see you again next week.
Yes, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a lovely Valentine's Day. Bye.